Looks like you guys owe me ice cream. Hey guys, Brandon Zerby here, and Sean Gallagher was the first physical therapist listed as using a foam roller as a self-massage tool all the way back in 1987. A couple decades later, and foam rollers have become all the rage. Not only do you see them at every single gym, but they've evolved with various patterns and grids to target deeper tissues and muscles. Additionally, vibration foam rollers that combine vibration technology with foam rollers have been created. And recently, you see massage guns widely marketed that combine many of these aspects of self-massage, tissue manipulation, and vibration or percussive technology. A commercial of pro golfer Colin Morikawa was recently released showing him using his massage gun as a warm-up, cool-down, and mid-round tool. But how do these self-massage tools actually work? What benefits do they provide, if any? And if they are beneficial, when should you use them? And is the only thing stopping me from being on the pro tour a little chest massage after a bad sand wedge shot? Well, let's get into it! Massage guns are relatively new, being released in about 2016, and a lot of times the science is years behind the latest innovation. This means there aren't a lot of studies on massage guns, but I did find a couple that I think you're going to be interested to hear, and I'll get to them in a few minutes. But as mentioned earlier, they're just an evolution of the self-massage tools like foam rollers and vibration technology. And when you review the proclaimed benefits of these massage guns, they're like the other tools proclaiming melting away tension, reducing muscle soreness, activating the body pre-workout, relieving stress after workouts, preventing injuries, and a host of other claims. But these other self-massage tools have been around for decades, and there's a lot of studies that we can look at for comparisons. So first, how exactly do these self-massage tools work? Originally, these tools were considered SMR tools. SMR for self-myofascial release is ubiquitous in the rehabilitation and training literature and purports that the use of foam rollers and other similar devices release myofascial constrictions accumulated from scar tissue, muscle spasms, and other pathologies. This is accomplished by treating myofascial trigger points, but the identification of trigger points is reported to not be highly reliable. On top of this, a recent narrative review on the subject submits that there is insufficient evidence to support that the primary mechanism underlying rolling and other similar devices are the release of myofascial constrictions, and thus the term self-myofascial release is misleading. So it appears that these self-massage tools aren't breaking up scar tissue like we previously thought. They lied to us, maybe. According to this review at least. Despite this mechanism not appearing to be true, not many studies have been performed to see the underlying mechanisms of foam rolling and similar tools. Nevertheless, the potential side effects have been attributed to mechanical, neurological, physiological, and psychophysiological parameters. A mechanical parameter could be altered tissue stiffness, leading to increased flexibility. A neurological parameter could be mediating pain systems or just decreasing your sensitivity to pain. A physiological mechanism could be increased blood flow, leading to quicker healing. And a psychophysiological response may include improved perceptions of well-being or the placebo effect. Now, it could be a combination of these factors, or it could be none of them. We just don't know yet. But whatever the mechanism is, what does the science show as far as benefits? Should you be using self-massage before, during, and after workouts to improve your performance and or recovery? Let's start with a review of the foam roller literature, as it's the most robust. Then I'll get into vibrating foam rollers and massage guns to tie it all up, using the one loop method, because bunny ears are for kids. There was a good meta-analysis performed in 2019 that looked at the effects that foam rolling had, both on recovery and performance, by observing 21 different studies. When looking at foam rolling as a warm-up before a performance, they found that jump performance, like a vertical leap, and strength performance, like a weighted leg extension, were not improved or impaired. Foam rolling essentially had no effect. Surprisingly though, it did improve sprint performance in 3 out of 4 studies. However, the average percentage improvement in sprint performance was only 0.7%. This shows that although the effect size was rather small from a purely statistical point of view, the average improvement in sprint performance could be relevant for elite athletes, but barely noticeable for recreational athletes. Furthermore, the average overall effect size for sprint performance is based on only 4 studies, showing effect sizes of 0.66 and 0.70. Therefore, it could be speculated that sprint performance does not per se benefit more from foam rolling, and it could be due to outliers in the data or the placebo effect. But where foam rolling does show positive effects is with flexibility and pain perception. In this study, it was estimated that about 62% of the population will experience short-term improvements and flexibility when using foam rolling as a pre-exercise warm-up. This extra flexibility may be useful when performing various exercises because it may allow you to get into a better posture or position for the exercise. But it's also possible that this added flexibility is just due to your decreased pain perception. For example, constant and vigorous pressure exerted on soft tissues from foam rolling may overload the skin receptors, thus minimizing pain sensation and increasing your stretch tolerance. So to summarize, foam rolling as a warm-up before exercise does seem to improve both flexibility and pain perception. But when it comes to performance, it appears that these results are kind of negligible and may only be noticeable by more elite athletes. But could foam rolling have better effects if performed after exercise as a cooldown? Again, let's look at sprint, jump, and strength performance. Usually when you perform a workout, you become fatigued and your ability to lift, sprint, and jump decrease immediately after the workout and even days after as your muscles recover. But it's possible that foam rolling may reduce the typical decline that you see after these workouts. For sprinting, it does appear to have a positive effect both immediately, 24 hours later, and even 4 days later. And for strength training, it appears to have a positive effect up to 24 hours later. And these results we see for increased performance are stronger post-workout than we saw pre-workout. So it may be more evidence that foam rolling is better for you after the workout than before the workout. But the results for jump performance were again negligible. And the study concluded by saying that the effects of post-rolling on performance should again be interpreted with caution, as the overall effects were not significant and the number of available studies was limited. The largest average effects of foam rolling in general and post-rolling in particular were found for the alleviation of perceived muscle pain. This means you're less likely to feel sore the hours and days following the workout, which is a good thing. So to summarize foam rolling as a cooldown, it may help with performance, but its strongest effects are seen with decreasing muscle soreness after the workout. But would these results have been even better if they use some of the latest and greatest foam rollers that have various patterns, grids, or varying density of the foam being used? Could this help target tissues on a deeper level? Well, a recent study compared soft, medium, and firm density foam rollers to find out. And their conclusion was that all 3 foam roller densities produce similar post-intervention effects on range of motion and pain thresholds. So if these new foam rollers are better, the benefits are negligible. What about vibrating foam rollers? An earlier meta-analysis reported that there are no difference between the use of vibrating foam rollers and typical foam rollers. But these results differ from a newer published study, and they theorized that there was no significant difference in the previous meta-analysis due to the smaller number of included studies, 3 studies and 4 results. This newer published study included more studies than the previous and did find that vibrating foam rollers are more effective in improving range of motion than typical foam rollers. So vibrating foam rollers may produce better results, but again, not by much and still concentrated within the flexibility and pain perception spectrums. Now, could we see even better results with the latest and greatest massage guns? Like I mentioned, these are new tools and there just aren't a lot of studies out there to really analyze. But I could find one on jump performance and they concluded that it didn't affect one's vertical jump height. And I did find another that looked at whether a massage gun increased the flexibility within the ankle joint. And surprisingly, the massage gun did increase maximum dorsiflexion by a large magnitude, following the massage treatment by 5.4 degrees. This is again likely due to factors similar to foam rolling, such as decrease in muscle stiffness, as well as changes in pain perception. Interestingly, a static 5-minute stretching exercise conducted by the same research team with this same setup seems to have a similar effect on range of motion gain at 4.9 degrees to the 5-minute massage in the current study at 5.4 degrees. And finally, I did find a study that compared foam rolling with massage and percussive therapy or massage guns. And this study concluded that percussive therapy may have potential for muscle recovery as it did outperform foam rolling and massage in this one study. Nonetheless, more studies are needed to determine which of these techniques is the most effective both in the short and long term. So to summarize this all up, it does appear that the innovation in the self-massage space is working a little bit. Massage guns appear to perform slightly better than vibrating foam rollers, and vibrating foam rollers seem to perform a little bit better than regular foam rollers. But let me get into my final thoughts to wrap this whole debacle up, and you know what to take away from it. So here are my final thoughts. I think self-massage could be a useful tool before workouts to increase range of motion for certain exercises. I think it could also be a useful tool after a workout if you want to decrease your muscle soreness. But the effects of these modalities are still questionable for a few different reasons. 1. Light exercise, or active recovery as some call it, of the affected muscle tissues is probably more effective than massaging and improving muscle blood flow, thereby possibly enhancing healing and temporarily reducing delayed onset muscle soreness. 2. Most of the improved flexibility that you get from foam rolling is gone 30 minutes later. And 3. Blinding the participants in any of these studies just isn't possible. This means that participants know when they're foam rolling in the studies, and consequently, the risk of the placebo bias is comparatively high. Therefore, I would only recommend self-massage if you completed more evidence-based, higher value activities first. For example, have you walked at least 12,000 steps yet today? Have you completed both your cardio and strength workouts? Have you incorporated a dynamic warm-up and stretching into your routine? If you've already done all of these higher value-added activities and you still want to do more to do everything possible to reach peak physical performance, then I think foam rolling and massage guns are a worthwhile activity. I personally have foam rolled in the past, and I'd probably use a massage gun if I had one. But as of now, I'm not really dying to go out and buy any of these because the effects of these self-massage tools aren't as great as what they're advertised. But hey, Christmas is around the corner, so if you do want to get me one, then I can give you my anecdotal evidence. And based on all this information, I don't think that a massage gun is keeping me from the Pro Tour. But again, if you give me the gun, then I can let you know. Massage gun, obviously. This is a PG-13 channel. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you did like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button. It helps out the channel and lets me know what kind of content I should be creating. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer all those. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Lastly, I offer a free health kit, which has my top 10 sleep tips, one Whole Foods plant-based recipe, and mobility workout you can stream on any device. That is free. There's a link down in the description for that. It also gets you signed into my weekly newsletter, where I provide the 3 most important things that I've read, watched, or listened to within the past week. All of that completely free. Link down in the description if you're interested in that. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. It could all be just the placebo effect.